Hello my fellow video gaming minions, welcome back. Dr. Roger returns for another wonderful vlog. Now it's a simple little vlog. Do you play horror video games at night? Well, it's something that we've been asked many times and we often thought about, but when it comes down to it, they are just really made to be played at night, aren't they? I mean, I remember playing on the first two Resident Evils, and the atmosphere when I was playing those at night nearly haunted me for life. And if you've not played the first two Resident Evil games, fair enough, but they were absolutely, in my opinion, probably the greatest Resident Evils in the series, and still hold that title even after these many years. I remember, right, let's take a trip down memory lane for me. When I first played on Resident Evil, it was the first one, the very first one. I went with my cousins who lived in London at the time. I lived in London at the time back then. So going on that game for the first time on the PlayStation 1, oh my goodness, I couldn't even play the game. My hands were literally that on the controller. How old was I? I was around the ages of, I think when I played it, I was about 7 or 8 when I actually played them. Resident Evil 1 and 2. Start with the first one. I remember playing it. The cameras were very strategically placed. They don't move at all. I mean, the only time they move is when you go into a different sector of the game, isn't it? When you go around a corner through another door. I mean, there wasn't that much music in the first Resident Evil because it was quite quiet, wasn't it? It was in that big mansion, and going through that level, I couldn't even do it. But the thing is with that as well, it's when I was playing that game in the daytime, I still couldn't do it. And the same principle for that applies. Well, not principle, but the same sort of feeling, the atmosphere applied to Resident Evil 2. I played a little bit more of that game, but I still couldn't do it. Playing that at night, wow, that game was so atmospheric. It's like, because it was at my cousin's house, and when that specific area that he was living in, it was quite quiet at night time, living a few floors up. It was more like an apartment type place. At night time around that area, it's really quiet. Thank goodness. That provided a lot more atmosphere. And with the fact that playing that game in the daytime as well, I was still shocked. I couldn't play. I couldn't even look at the screen. That's how awesome that game was back in the day. I mean, today I probably still, because I've still got that little link with it, I probably still be a bit shocked to play it today. I wouldn't be as shocked because I'm more grown up and more mature than things. I played other horror games, but for many years, those two games have really held it in for me personally when it comes to survival horror games, and it was fantastic. That good, scary feeling, I like it. I loved it. I mean, it's games like that really provide a good experience to survival horrors, and one player as well. I mean, I prefer it when it's one player because you can't really get scared when you're playing with someone else, but on that video game, like online, like it is now. But that being said, however, when I was watching my cousins play it and we saw that liquor thing, Resident Evil 2, a little cutscene, he sort of scared me. Went boom, and I fell off my chair and everything. Oh no, those were the good old days of that game. But ever since then, as you can tell, video games have sort of evolved in survival horror. Dead Space. The comical survival horror, I'd probably say Left 4 Dead, because that didn't really scare me up. Left 4 Dead, I really enjoyed that actually. Left 4 Dead 2. I found it more comical than scary. I love the cooperative element on that video game. It's really good. I really do apply to Resident Evil, the first two, of being such fantastic survival horrors and providing such a great atmosphere for me personally. I mean, out of all other likes, Silent Hill does come into it. That sort of really did have, that creeped me out as well as scared me. That really was a freaky game for me. And again, when I played that the first time, I was like, whoa, I can't do this. I literally cannot do it. It's like going to bed with nightmares and these games still blotting in my mind. But what's going to happen? Because when you're at a young age playing these survival horrors, they really do linger on your thoughts and they do stick there. It was amazing, the good old experience of actually playing these games at night time. I really do feel that most of these games are really built for night play, and those are the only times I'll actually play them, because all other games, pretty much, you can play them daytime, nighttime, evening, whatever, but survival horrors, the games that are really made to play at night, I really do, because when I see these other Let's Plays on YouTube, those who I've met, and I ask my friends from college or whatever, do you play survival games at night? Survival horror games, sorry, at night time, or horror games at night? Some of them are like, yeah, sometimes. Others are like, not so much. I'm thinking, well, the ones that say not so much, I say, play them at night time. You'll get the experience more. Make sure it's quiet in your house. Make sure your neighbours are not banging down the doors or whatever, doing listening to their music. Make sure the atmosphere is completely silent. Make sure you've got your TV turned up a bit. Don't wake up the parents or nothing unless you're living on your own call. And just be completely embedded in that survival horror experience. The slightest twitch in that video game and you go, whoa, I like that. It's really awesome. I love playing survival horror games at night, especially with the Resident Evil ones. I've got to complete the first two. I've got to go back there and complete them. So for me, I really do love playing survival horror games at night time. I really do love the experience. It's really built for the atmospherical gaming element of the video gaming seance, as it were, of actually enjoying it more. You can really enjoy it more because you're really into it. It's like playing FIFA or the World Cup games when the World Cup's on, or playing a Grand National game, or a lot of racing games when the racing's on, or golf and sports and stuff when there's certain events going on. If you're a fan of these things, it fits in really well for a lot of links. So do you like playing horror or survival horror video games at night? Because I most certainly do, and there's plenty of other games I could have mentioned, but Resident Evil and Silent Hill were the two big ones for me when I was younger. Oh my goodness me, I really do like these games. Alright then, I look forward to hearing from your comments or video responses if you want. My fellow video gaming minions, you take good care of yourselves and may retro gaming live